So, the Los Angeles Chargers are in the midst of a pivotal offseason, and there's no shortage of topics to discuss. Free agency is underway, and while it may feel like it's been going on for months, there's still plenty of time before the NFL draft arrives in late April. The Chargers are taking a calculated approach to free agency, and that aligns with the philosophy of Joe Ortiz and Jim Harbaugh. They're all about building a sustainable team, one that can compete year in and year out. It's not about spending big just to make headlines. It's about smart investments and focusing on the draft. What's up, Chargers fans? Welcome to the NFL Playbook Chargers. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. This channel is all about breaking down everything you need to know about the Bolts. One of the biggest moves so far has been the signing of Makai Becton. Let's talk about what this means for the Chargers. The offensive line was a glaring issue last season, and this move is a step toward fixing that. Becton is a powerful run blocker who can move defenders and create running lanes, which is exactly what the team needs. Moving him from tackle to guard is an interesting choice, but it fits perfectly with Harbaugh's vision of a tough, physical offense. Pairing Becton with Najee Harris in the backfield adds even more to this philosophy. The idea is to dominate at the line of scrimmage and establish a bully mentality on offense. Now, the signing of Najee Harris has sparked mixed reactions from fans. Some are thrilled to have a physical, durable runner like him, while others aren't sold on the idea. But let's look at what Harris brings to the table. He's not just reliable, he's tough. He breaks tackles and gains those hard-fought yards, which is something this offense desperately needs. Last season, there were too many instances where the Chargers struggled to get anything going in the run game, and Harris could help change that. He's not a flashy player, but he's effective, and that's what matters. Defensively, the Chargers have made some intriguing moves, too. They've brought in Benjamin St-Juste and Donte Jackson, two big-bodied corners who fit well into their system. It's clear the team is betting on their coaching staff to develop these players. Steve Clinkscale, the secondary coach, has a strong track record, and there's a lot of potential in this group. The Chargers also have young corners like Tarheeb Still and Cam Hart, who they're very high on. The competition in the secondary will be fierce, but that's a good problem to have. One thing to keep in mind is that the Chargers are far from done in free agency. There are still areas they need to address, and the draft will play a big role in that. The focus has been on value and depth rather than big-name signings, and that's part of the team's long-term strategy. It's a philosophy that worked for the Baltimore Ravens, and now it's being applied here in Los Angeles. Fans might be frustrated by the lack of flashy moves, but this approach is about building a team that can compete now and in the future. Looking ahead to the draft, there are plenty of possibilities for the Chargers. They've addressed some key needs in free agency, but there's still work to be done. Offensive line and wide receivers stand out as priorities. The addition of Makai Becton was a big step forward for the line, but more consistency is needed. As for receivers, Justin Herbert could use another weapon. Mike Williams is back, which is great, but the team needs to think about the future. Adding a young, dynamic receiver could give this offense a whole new dimension. When it comes to the defensive line, there's still room for improvement. The team could look to add depth there, either through free agency or the draft. Tight end is another position that could use some attention. Fans have been talking about the possibility of adding a player like Dallas Goedert, but that seems unlikely given the team's cautious approach to spending. Instead, the Chargers might look to targeting This offseason feels like a step in the right direction for the Chargers. They haven't made huge splashes, but they've addressed key needs and set themselves up well for the draft. It's about building a sustainable team, one that can compete now while planning for the future. Fans might not love the conservative approach, but it's hard to argue with the logic behind it. This isn't about winning the offseason. It's about winning games when it matters. As the draft approaches, all eyes will be on the Chargers to see how they continue to shape their roster. There's no doubt this is a critical time for the team. Every decision they make now will have a lasting impact on their success moving forward. Whether it's free agency, the draft, or player development, the Chargers are sticking to their plan. And in the NFL, sticking to a smart, calculated plan usually pays off.
Brought down by Khalil Mack.
So, Chargers fans, what do you think about the team's offseason moves so far?
Tranquil coming on a blitz, and this one's batted into the
strategy will pay off? Or do you think they should have gone after more high-profile free agents to make an immediate impact? And here's the big question. If you were the GM, what would be your top priority in the upcoming draft? Bolstering the offensive line, adding a new weapon for Justin Herbert, or shoring up the defense? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.
Today.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth Chargers analysis. See you next time.